Hello traders, right, this does deserve a video because it is quite a unique continuation setup. So obviously you can see you've got your 2B. I took it based on the M15 actually and the H1. Let's get to H1 before the new H1 prints. So H1, this is what I mean by a flickering, if you like, TMA bar, because it hasn't closed yet, but it's quite rare. You know, this can only be gathered by screen time. You got your RSI, you got 3 green bars basically, but if you look at the time, it's still 3 minutes to the close of this hourly bar. I was literally driving up until about 5 minutes, 10 minutes ago. So I've stopped, opened the charts, and because it's so close to the hour, and this is a new strategy, I'm looking at charts. So it's not a full-size trade in terms of money, but it is a high sort of value, high, no, that's the wrong word, high probability trade. Look at the state of that. That couldn't be more bullish if it tried. Massive wick, and you got 3 wicks. It's not just one, it's just like consecutive nasty stop hunting and order gathering for the bulls. Nasty moves. But you know, both the indicators said what was going on. You know, what came first, the grey and red or the wicks? You know, I was thinking as I was driving that you have to believe, you know, all this ranting I've been doing about indicators working, you have to change your mindset from all the mind bending liars that have perpetuated the myth, not because they mean to, but because I did it myself. I didn't scream, you must drop indicators. In fact, maybe somewhere back in the 20 years I was doing this, I did. In fact, I'm almost certain I did at some stage. But I am embarrassed to say that. So I'm looking over there as well. I mean, it's just crazy how these areas of supply and demand match up. Here, 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 and here. You know, I mean, if I did draw it on those wicks, that's the new hour just printed now. And remember, if we get a big strong move up, we could get a little pullback to test this level of supply and demand here. So, you know, you spot these enough, you know what's going on. The only thing that odd guy said this morning that made sense, but anyone can talk about all of this stuff now because it's everywhere, isn't it? So to just learn it parrot fashion. But he said, look left. And I've been shouting, if you want to know what to do on the right, just look left. He was really talking about these supply and demand areas, but we don't need them because we've got this fantastic indicator, the SS support and resistance. More and more I'm thinking of just relying on that. And because I watch, you know, obviously I trade all these levels, and I can see they match my levels anyway, because obviously it's a fantastic indicator, otherwise it would not be on my charts. But don't forget, guys, the scammers tell you indicators don't work because they want to sell you their system. Excuse me. So we had this situation where in the old days, before I was enlightened, I would have said wait until the close. But because this is a momentum indicator, this one's more of an angle indicator. This one's the proper momentum calculated indicator. And the MACD is just the MACD. Well, it's a higher time frame proxy for that. So always remember that. That is that on the higher time frame, usually by 4. So that's H4, that's H1. H1 as you can see. M15, that's calculated at 4 times the normal MACD, so that's H1, that's M15, M15. So when I got back, I could see we'd got 3, so not only did we have the H1, which is the most important part of this. M30 wasn't telling me anything, but I have M30 has its uses. In fact, M30 was grey there and not flickering, but look, it's turning green there. That's another thing I need to study. But as you can see now, the H1 is pulling back on itself, as expected. It's broken a level of supply and demand, the open and close there, and hey presto, that is probably, my move up was 94 points, 9.4 pips, and this is probably reversing about that amount as well. I said it would. It's because I watched hundreds of these, thousands and thousands actually, and there you go, H1 reversal. So getting back to the analysis, so M15, there's a bust, pullback, break and close there, a 3 CR up, well it's a 2 CR up, but so I actually opened my charts looking at a bit of a wick there, but the high hadn't been broken. But what do we know has to happen when we get this break of momentum here? We're waiting for, if the high hasn't been broken of that trigger candle, it's telling us it should do because momentum is increasing. Momentum was had increased on the MACD as well, so it was long, and I'm still actually educating myself about the NAS, because I have to be honest, Simon Anderson, I wasn't even aware there was a 130 and 230. I had my head stuck up my backside because I had to condition myself to trade the Frankfurt session and then stop. And then I had a little peek at 6 o'clock, but I was totally oblivious to the American session. I didn't want to know about it. I'd learnt the Frankfurt. I had actually learnt the Frankfurt session, not really putting the emphasis on the candles, but more on the Frankfurt session. And then COVID arrived, and my candlestick analysis exploded. So that's it, guys. That's just another little scalp, another little rambling video that may give you a eureka moment. But this said, I had to buy. And, that was my entry just behind there. Oh no, sorry, it's there. So I'm looking at this setup going on here. Bust, pull back, break and close. Momentum, slacken off, momentum. And that's when I entered. Oh, I should mention this as well. The US 100 was looking exactly like it does now. That's H1, that's M15, that's M5. The H1 was telling me green. And I haven't worked out, I need to look into this. It might have to be just dumped, because it doesn't even tie up with the Bollingers on my charts. So I don't know what the settings are. I need to go and read his thread and see what's going on. So, but as you can see, I can't sell. Oh, and I do need to look at the 2B. That is the 2B there. That is the sellers being broken by the buyers. Just move that level down. So that is the level we want a candle to close above. There. That is what happened. We were clearly above there. And that's your 2B on a line chart, which is more powerful than a wick chart one, which Vic doesn't mention. Candles. That's your close above the line there. Pull back. So you've broken a level, you've pulled back to test it, you'll continue. And that's where I hit my trade. Okay. Thanks for listening. And, everything was perfect. There it is there. Look left. If it's all green, and the time of the hour as well. It was just, the hourly was due to turn green, which is exactly what it did. That suggests there might be a continuation. This isn't perfect. That is not perfect. That doesn't enter into the equation at this point. It's just the MACD. I want to see it change in colour from red to green, red to green. And, it's part of the three greens. So it's still part of the three greens, and it's rising, but it doesn't enter into the equation as strongly as these. So that's it. This does look like it might continue up. It's not trade advice if you watch these videos straight away. Don't follow my trades, find your own. At the end of the day, we're trading a traffic light system here, a very obvious system. This is all part of a big 2B here as well. Just connect the trend lines. It's crazy how trend lines work. That blows me away. Anyway, I digress. Have a fantastic evening. Thanks for watching.